So the topic is solving by finding square roots, and there's a couple different ways that you're going to kind of hear this described. In addition to it just saying solve by finding the square root, you might see it explained as extract the square root. Right, if you're given a problem in which you're asked to extract the square root, it's going to look like the following. It'll have a term for the, or it'll have a value for the A quantity, but there won't be a B value, meaning there's not a first degree term. And so you're just going to have the one variable term with an x squared. If that's the case, the way that you would solve this by hand would be to isolate your variable. Okay, so here, if we leave our variable term alone on one side by adding 3 to both sides of the equation, and then completely isolate it by dividing by 2. And that would be our first step. You isolate the variable term, and then you do what's called extract the square root. Extracting the square root means you find, if you take the square root of both sides, you do have to take into consideration you're going to have two values, a positive root and negative root. And so you'd look to simplify this radical. And so that involves, are there any perfect square factors that you can remove from 45? 45 is the product of 9 times 5. 9 is a perfect square. It simplifies to a 3. And the 5 would remain inside the radical. If you were entering this online, the way that you would enter this, again, you would start with your lesser solution first, so negative 3 sqrt for square root of 5, followed by a comma, and then the positive of the root sqrt 5. So if you were entering your answer online, that's what it would be entered as.